Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to navigate the world of modern business software. It can be pretty complex, right? We're focusing specifically on digital adoption platforms, or DAPs, and really taking a close look at one of the leaders out there, WalkMe. Now, our sources for this deep dive are, well, they're quite practical, actually. We're pulling insights straight from exam practice questions for the CBCWME 2504 certification specifically, and the explanations that come with them are super clear, very direct. So it gives us this really accurate understanding of WalkMe's core functions and, its strategic value. Our mission today, basically to cut through the jargon. We want to shed light on the essential purpose, the key features, the real benefits of DAPs like WalkMe. We want to give you a concise but still thorough understanding. Think of these platforms like your personal GPS for complicated software. Why should you care? That's what we're exploring. Okay, so let's unpack this. At the most fundamental level, what is the main purpose of a digital adoption platform, a DAP like WalkMe, in a day-to-day business context?
Right. So at its heart, a DAP like WalkMe, it's really all about making software work better for the person using it, the end user. It gives them real-time, step-by-step help right inside the application they're using. Picture it like a smart layer on top of the software. It helps users get better, more proficient, it cuts down on mistakes, and really drives the adoption of new or tricky software tools, makes people's work more efficient. It's important to be clear what it's not, though. It's not there to replace all your human IT support, for instance, or, just manage software licenses. It's this intelligent layer that improves how users interact with the software itself.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, we've all been there, right? Staring at some new complex system, feeling totally lost. So if that's the issue, how does this sort of real-time guidance work in the, well, often quite intimidating world of enterprise software, like something huge and complex like SAP?
Yeah, and that's where it gets really powerful. WalkMe integrates directly with systems like SAP Business Suite. It provides that exact same in-app, real-time guidance. But the key thing is, it simplifies those incredibly complex SAP transactions for the actual end users. This isn't just about, say, initial training. It's about cutting down on errors during daily use, errors that can have, pretty significant downstream consequences. So ultimately, it dramatically improves productivity in a system where, frankly, mistakes can be really costly.
That's a really strong point, moving beyond just training to active error reduction. Can you give us a concrete example, like a specific use case within SAP where WalkMe really makes a difference?
Well, absolutely. A classic ideal scenario for WalkMe and SAP is guiding new hires, taking them through those complex onboarding procedures or specific, maybe critical data entry tasks. So instead of days in a classroom or, wading through thick manuals, WalkMe gives them immediate contextual help right when they need it inside SAP. This gets training time way down. It minimizes those costly errors people often make when they're new. And it just gets new employees productive much, much faster.
Okay. And for businesses, especially thinking at the executive level, it always comes down to results you can measure, right?
Okay.
The ROI. How do organizations actually quantify the value they're getting from something like WalkMe?
A really critical, very quantifiable metric is the reduction in help desk tickets, specifically tickets related to software usage problems. It's pretty straightforward. When users get better guidance right inside the app, they run into fewer problems. They can often figure things out themselves. And consequently, they just don't need to call IT support nearly as often. That's a direct cost saving you can track.
And what's the kind of deeper impact of that reduction? I mean, beyond just saving money on support calls.
That's where it becomes more strategic. So yes, you save costs directly, but it also frees up your skilled IT people. Instead of constantly answering basic how-to questions, they can focus on, innovation, proactive improvements, bigger projects. It starts to shift how IT is perceived, less like a cost center, more like a driver of real value, because their expertise is being used more effectively.
That is a profound shift, yeah. Okay, so how does WalkMe make sure this guidance isn't just like a generic overlay for everyone? How does it ensure the help is actually relevant to me doing my specific job or task? What features make that personalization happen?
Right, that's absolutely key. And that's where a feature called segments comes in. It's really indispensable for this. Segments allow the people creating the WalkMe content, the guidance, to target very specific groups of users. And they can do this based on all sorts of criteria, maybe department, job role, geographic location, even past behavior within the application itself. So the help you receive feels tailor-made. It's hyper-relevant. And that's crucial for making it effective and, frankly, for user satisfaction, too. People ignore generic help.
Okay, so you've got this intelligent, tailored content created using segments. How do users then, easily find and access it right when they hit a snag without having to hunt around menus or anything?
Yeah, good question. That's typically handled by something called a launcher. A launcher is basically a customizable element on the screen. It could look like a button, maybe some text, an icon, and when you click on it, it triggers specific walk me content, like starting a step-by-step walkthrough. It essentially acts as a really clear, intuitive signpost. Need help with this? Click here. It lets users pull the help they need exactly when they need it. It's all about making help instantly accessible, removing that friction.
Got it. So connecting all these pieces back to the, let's say, the bigger picture, for those C-suite executives considering major technology investments, what's the single most compelling reason, the core value proposition for a solution like WalkMe?
For executives, the conversation usually shifts. It's less about individual features, like launchers or segments. It nearly always centers on strategic business outcomes, things they really care about. So WalkMe is framed as driving things like accelerated digital transformation, making sure those big, expensive new systems actually get adopted and used effectively, or achieving improved operational efficiency right across the entire enterprise. It helps them avoid that common, painful scenario where they spend millions on software but don't get the promised value because people just struggle to use it.
That makes total sense. It's about tackling those big strategic business challenges, not just the minor daily frustrations. And speaking of strategy, if you're a consultant thinking about recommending a solution like WalkMe, what's the absolute first thing you need to prioritize before you even mention the tool?
Oh, it's absolutely critical, foundational, really, to first thoroughly identify what the client-specific business challenges are. What are their real pain points? What are their overarching strategic objectives? Why is this so important? Because without that deep dive first, you risk offering a solution that's just looking for a problem to solve. It won't resonate. Doing that homework ensures that the proposed solution, whether it's WalkMe or something else, is precisely tailored. It needs to address real, impactful pain points. That's what maximizes the value for the client. And crucially, it dramatically increases the chances that users will actually adopt and use the solution successfully.
Right. And then let's say WalkMe is deployed. The job isn't done, right? How do organizations make sure it stays effective, that it's continuously improving and actually meeting user needs over time? How do they keep it optimized?
Exactly. It's an ongoing process. The key here is analyzing the WalkMe engagement metrics and data. The primary goal of digging into that data is to pinpoint exactly where users might be getting stuck. Where are they struggling? Where might they be dropping off or abandoning a process? Where's the friction? Getting that granular insight allows the content creators to continuously optimize things. They can refine the guidance, maybe clarify steps, improve the user experience based on real behavior. It's this iterative loop of analyze, refine, deploy. That's what constantly drives higher adoption and reduces user frustration over the long term.
Okay, so if we zoom out one last time, connect this to the really big picture, what would you say is a truly significant, maybe standout advantage of using WalkMe to drive digital adoption across the entire large, complex enterprise?
I'd say its standout ability is delivering that contextual, interactive guidance consistently across multiple different applications within the organization. So you get a uniform user experience, more or less, no matter which system an employee happens to be working in at that moment. That consistency is huge. It significantly reduces learning curves across the board. And that is absolutely key if you're trying to drive broad organizational change and get successful digital adoption happening throughout the entire enterprise. It helps prevent what I sometimes call application silos of knowledge.
Maybe here's a final thought to mull over. Consider how this capability, providing highly personalized, on-demand digital guidance, might fundamentally reshape things in the future. Not just how we learn new software, but maybe the very nature of IT support itself, and perhaps even how employee training is structured and delivered. Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.